April 24, 1704. The distant Massachusetts Bay Colony sits directly on the rugged, forested edge of the British Empire. Across the Atlantic, the British Crown is staring down a looming succession crisis and locked in a sprawling, expensive global war with France. This document, the Boston Newsletter, provided the first continuous stream of imperial intelligence to the American colonies. Notice the exact phrasing right under the masthead: published by authority. This information is officially curated and sanctioned by the state. This single sheet of paper operates as a sophisticated piece of imperial communication technology. It is specifically designed to synchronize the anxieties of colonial subjects with the strategic needs of London. If you read closely, you will find reports of domestic subversion in Scotland, direct funding demands from Queen Anne, and kinetic naval warfare occurring just miles off the American coast. For an 18th-century Boston merchant, these are not distant curiosities. His immediate economic survival depends on understanding this exact matrix of global threats. The opening columns of this briefing draw the reader's attention straight to Scotland, the primary geopolitical flashpoint threatening the stability of the British Crown. The front page leads with an alarming intelligence dispatch delivered directly to the Privy Council. The report warns that papists swarm in that nation, signaling an influx of Catholic insurgents backed by foreign rivals. It tracks their movements away from the centers of British control, migrating to the north, to the Highlands. The central antagonist driving this crisis is the exiled claimant to the throne, identified here as the pretended King James VIII. This is an active militarization. Loyalists to the exiled king are buying up of arms and ammunition wherever they can find them. The Crown framed these territorial disputes in Scotland as an existential fight for the survival of the Protestant religion against French-backed Catholicism. The text explicitly invokes the Protestant religion to elevate the ideological stakes for the reader. By placing a distant ideological threat on the front page, the publisher primes the American audience for unified, uncritical loyalty to the Crown. From the rugged Scottish Highlands, the paper abruptly pivots to the political and financial center of the empire, Westminster. On the second page, we find a direct address from Queen Anne to Parliament, delivered late the previous December. This speech officially validates the rumors printed on the front page, upgrading colonial gossip into actionable state intelligence. The monarch explicitly confirms internal subversion, citing unquestionable informations of very ill practices and designs. She ties the internal Scottish rebellion directly to the external global war, naming the agitators as emissaries from France. The Crown's solution to this threat is straightforward: a direct and urgent demand to Parliament for rapid financial supplies. These funds are required to defeat the secret and malicious designs of our enemies. The newsletter connects the Queen's request for parliamentary supplies to the immediate security of Atlantic trade routes. For a merchant, supporting the Crown's solvency meant ensuring the Royal Navy remained funded to patrol the very waters where French sloops were currently taking prizes. The briefing then shifts from the European halls of power to the immediate, violent tactical reality off the American coastline. The lower half of the second page is dedicated to local intelligence, marked by denser formatting and smaller type. Here we find a kinetic colonial success story. The text reports that Captain Tongrelli has taken 5 prizes off of Virginia. It details the specifics of a brutal naval engagement with a heavily armed foreign ship, specifically a Frenchman, a sloop of 8 guns. The severe human cost of maritime security is laid bare, proving the war is already at America's doorstep. Captain LaRue was killed, and 20 of his men. The threats move even closer to home, warning of hostile naval harassment from a topsail shallop off of Block Island, just a short sail from Boston. At the very bottom of the page sits a structural innovation for the colonies, America's first classified advertisement section. This section functions as a central hub for local commerce, listing houses, lands, tenements, or servants run away. The publisher places global naval casualties inches above local real estate ads. This intentional formatting demonstrates that local colonial commerce and imperial maritime security are entirely inseparable. Within a single folded sheet of paper printed in 1704, we traverse an immense geographical expanse: London, the Scottish Highlands, the coast of Virginia, Block Island, and Boston. For a Boston merchant, reading these isolated reports side by side reveals the true scale of the conflict. The French emissaries subverting Scotland and the French sloops sinking ships off Block Island are two active fronts of the exact same war. This vast geopolitical web was constructed through the heavy physical labor of setting type and pressing ink onto paper. The Boston newsletter functioned as an active instrument of statecraft. It standardized an imperial worldview, instructing the colonists exactly who they should fear and who they must fund. By aligning local maritime safety with the Crown's fiscal survival, this document integrated the colonial periphery into a unified imperial defense system.
The Daily Dispatch, history in print, no modern gloss, no modern